can find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
A top secret location. It's the Spies Who Loved Me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The old finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. Glad to have you along on a Tuesday morning. The focus today is on business, a nonprofit that has been around a very long time, my friends. It's been around since before the turn of the last century. That's right. 436 MeTV, option 11. Back in just a moment. Back here on the program, my friends, and I'm glad you're here on a Tuesday morning talking about a non-profit organization today. But first, I got to mention that the rest of the week should be very, very interesting. We'll have a puppet master in here tomorrow, and then on Thursday, a promising young boxer out of Sanger. Can't wait for that. And then on Friday, we have Sharon Johnston in, and she is from the Komen Center here, breast cancer awareness. Of course, the race is coming up. We'll talk about that. And then next week, we go into full swing again with some very interesting programming. And I might note, you know, many of you have watched us for 4 years on the same channel. You know, but things sometimes change, and then the routine breaks, and then people get upset. They start calling in, they start emailing. Not today, my friends. We're still on Comcast. The channel has changed. You're watching us as of today, as of right now, as I'm speaking, on Comcast channel 375, okay? If you're watching channel 187, you can't hear me right now because I'm on 375. Anyway, we're also on 43.6, 13.1. That's over the air with a digital antenna. So as of today, we're on 375, and we're here to stay for good, at least for now. Anyway, you can watch the replay of this program each and every Monday through Friday, live at 2 o'clock, 13.6 YouTube. That's the entire replay of this program. And then you can watch it in prime time, 8 o'clock at night, 4.6 Biz TV as well. And you know what? YouTube, you can catch us 24 hours a day. People do watch us on YouTube. Maybe at some point, it's not like it's brain surgery. At some point, we got to start streaming this program live, right? I mean, come on. It's the, what century are we in? Anyway, Twitter is at John Mallos MeTV. What century are we in? You like that? Okay, today the focus on a non-profit business. It's been around a very long time, my friends. A lot longer than you've been around, than I've been around, that our guest has been around, but it's here to stay. They're kind of in the midst of a change right now. We're going to talk about that during the course of the program. The organization I'm talking about is the United Way, been around more than 90 years, but it wasn't until the early 1960s that they changed the name to the modern day name as we know it now, the United Way. The home base is in Alexandria, Virginia, but there are more than 1,200 offices nationwide, including here in Fresno and the one that covers Madera. The focus of this organization is to try to identify and resolve any kind of pressing problems in the community, like possibly hunger, education, health care. Here is more of what the United Way is all about.
So what does it mean to live united? It all boils down to seeing a need in the community and figuring out a way to meet that need. Here's an example. Mania, our VP of Community Impact, heard that many families in Madera could not afford a backpack and school supplies for the upcoming school year. Mania called Bob Reyes, interim CEO of United Way Fresno and Madera counties, and Robert De La Rosa, marketing director. Bob Reyes told United Way board of directors, and Robert De La Rosa called Nancy at Telemundo. Nancy called Mania and told her about Victoria from Crown Homes. Mania called Victoria from Crown Homes, and Crown Homes stepped up to sponsor the backpack giveaway. We ordered backpacks and school supplies, but we did not have a place to distribute them. Mania called up Joseph at Madera Parks and Rec. Joseph met with Marianne and Ozzy, and they offered to let us use the Movies in the Park event sponsored by PG&E as a distribution point for the backpacks. The event was going to happen. Robert called Telemundo, ABC 30, and Radio La Campesina to share the great news. Telemundo, ABC 30, and Radio La Campesina became media sponsors of the event to help get the word out to our community. Meanwhile, the backpacks and school supplies arrived. Bank of the West and UPS volunteered to stuff backpacks with books and school supplies. Telemundo contacted Lyle's College of Beauty to see if they were interested in giving away free back-to-school haircuts at the backpack giveaway. Lyle's College of Beauty agreed. Robert went on KC24's Central Valley Today and Latino Life on ABC 30 to talk about the backpack giveaway. The Parks and Rec Department set up the event at Lions Park in Madera. United Way Board of Directors, volunteers, and Crown Homes gave out backpacks, while Lyle's College of Beauty gave out free back-to-school haircuts for the students in Madera County. 700 children received backpacks and school supplies, while 100 students got haircuts. To live united is to gather people who care and find solutions together. Businesses, government, nonprofits, and anyone who wants to make a difference. That's how you live united.
Live in our studio now is Bob Reyes, the interim president and CEO of the local chapter here in Fresno and Madera, the United Way. He replaces, at least temporarily, Mike Alexander, who recently retired. He's enjoying retirement. You might recall Bob Reyes is also the former principal at Fresno High and the former interim CEO at the food bank. How do you like that? All these interim CEO jobs. I'd like one of those. Can I have one of those? Anyway, 436-ME-TV, option 11. Call in, talk to Bob. We'll have a second guest as well, Robert De La Rosa, who is also with the United Way. We'll talk to him during the course of the program. But you're welcome to call in and weigh in. The United Way is top of mind on this day. Back in a moment.
We need help to find this missing child. Hallie Cummings was 7 when she went missing. She was last seen in Satsuma, Florida in February of 2009. This is what we believe she looks like today at age 11. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Hallie Cummings home.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here on the program, talking about the United Way today, and a nonprofit that I think worldwide, or at least nationally, it's been around for more than 100 years, maybe 130 years. But here, they celebrated 91 years. Bob Reyes, the interim CEO, the president, and all these interim jobs. You like it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it gives me something to do in retirement, John.
That's right, because you're retired from Fresno Unified.
That's
you have
right.
been for, what, 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
Yeah, you enjoying that?
Yeah, you know what? Every year I do something different, and it's, you know, you're learning something new, and certainly with this job at United Way, I'm learning quite a bit.
Well, why don't you sit in the seat permanently? Why don't you just take the job? You're already in the seat. I mean, what's the deal?
Well, I promised my wife that I would stay retired, and, you know, we need
What does she want to do? What, are you guys going to travel, or what?
Yeah, we travel, you know, and then go to the coast and spend a little time. We have a little fifth wheel on the coast, so just, you can't do a lot of that if you're working full time.
No, but what's on the, I mean, I know I'm getting off topic here. What's on the bucket list? You want to go to like Fenway Park or Wrigley Field or the Grand Canyon? What?
Well, we've been to the Grand Canyon. We wanted to go to Yellowstone and Mount Rushmore, and then this interim assignment job came up, and we put that on hold, and so, yeah, that's on the list of the next trip.
Mount Rushmore is going to be there long after we're gone, so don't worry, it'll be there, waiting for you.
Well, thank you for assuring me.
So what's up with this? Mike Alexander just, hey, said, I had enough, I got to retire, now's the time. Was it health reasons, or?
Yeah, he had a few health issues during the year, and then he was just turning 65, and he really made a decision for his own health, and he wanted to spend more time with the grandkids. So, you know, it made a lot of sense.
Don't blame him.
But whenever you are...
Hang on, caller.
But whenever you're in that situation and then you're having to replace the CEO right away, then, you know, you have to look around for an interim. And I was just coming... assuming the chairmanship of the board on July 1st, and I happen to be the only retired board member, and so someone asked if I was available, and so I sat and talked with my wife, and she said, well, if you want to do it, she knew I did, and she said, if it's not too long, then go ahead and do it. So that's how I became the interim.
Yeah, it's good you had to check with the boss first.
Always check with her.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Welcome to 375.
Oh man, so are we coming in loud and clear on 375?
Oh, let me tell you, I have to tell you this. Before on channel 187, whenever commercials came on, the sound would go down, and then when the show would come on, the sound would come up. I'll tell you what happened this morning. I found you by accident. I woke up at 4 like I do every morning, because at 4:30 I pray the rosary. And the first thing I do at 4, I turn it to MeTV. So I put on MeTV and I go, what the heck? And I go, uh-oh. He didn't announce that it was going to be on already. So I got this little light bulb went on, I put on 375, and there it was.
Well, so tell me once again about the sound. Tell me once again about the sound. I didn't understand that. Go ahead.
Okay. When a certain show would be on, the sound would be, you know, at regular volume. But then when it went for commercial breaks, the sound would go down on the commercials.
I've been trying to tell people that around here for the longest time, and they just don't listen.
But today, it came out just perfect.
Oh, okay. So it sounds good today, right?
Well, absolutely. The sound comes on clear, like especially like when they do the Ventura TV commercials. Now you can hear them. Before you couldn't.
Well, if somebody would have, maybe I should have done it, maybe I'm at fault, should have promoted the fact that we're changing channels while we were still on 187, and then people would have been prepared to change on this day, but we didn't do that. So you found us by accident.
Yes, I found you because I wake up every morning at 4, and I keep it on MeTV until 4:30 when the rosary comes on, and I go, oh no.
Yeah.
And something different's on now on 187. It's something about church.
All right.
And welcome, and Mr. Reyes, I hope you stay on and not change too many jobs.
Do you have any questions for Bob and the United Way this morning?
Yes, I wanted to say, I know they do good work, and who qualifies to get help from the United Way?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Help?
Good question.
Well, what we try to do is benefit the entire community, and we have 3 areas that we focus on: health, education, and income. And so if you have a need in that area, and one of the programs that we run is the 211 program, which is like 911, but it's non-emergency services for residents of Fresno County. And so if you called that number, and really if you were in need of food, shelter, low-cost internet, help with your utilities, this is a service that we provide. We have operators on 24/7, and they have a list of all of the agencies that provide services in Fresno County, and we're trying to expand that to Madera County because that is our new service area. as of June, and so it's really a lot of different services that we can refer people to who need help in a lot of different areas.
Well, so if I pick up the phone and dial 211, they're gonna come to my house with food, any kind of medical supplies. What else?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Oh, how does it work?
We have a list of agencies that we work with. So let's say that you have a food issue, and then we have a listing of the agencies that provide food. And so, like for instance, Catholic Charities. If you live in nearby Catholic Charities, we would let the person know the address there, who to call, and when they distribute food. And so that's one way you could get assistance.
So you do provide a service, but to get that service, are there any qualifications that you have to meet?
Just the need, and when you get referred to one of our agencies, they will assess the need. But we certainly, our operators will ask questions and make sure that they qualify for those services.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're talking with Bob Reyes. He is the interim president and CEO of the local chapter of the United Way, which is in Fresno and Madera. I don't know, do I sound cynical today a little bit? I do, huh? A little bit? I mean, it's like starting it, huh? You're normal. I'm normal today? But it's like starting all over again. We didn't promote the fact that we have a channel change, and now we're having to start from scratch. We're on 375. It's like building a whole new audience again from scratch. Anyway, today you're watching us on Comcast 375. 43.6 and 13.1 are the same over-the-air broadcast. The number has not changed. 436 MeTV option 11. We're back, I hope, with your viewership and calls in just a moment.
Watch Dr. TV on over-the-air channel 13.9.
Thank you for calling 201. How may I help you?
I only have 62 cents in the bank and I have no food. And she said you might be able to help me. I have no food for the month.
Thank you for calling 211. This is Diana. How may I help you?
I'm homeless and I have a 3-month-old child and a 8-year-old daughter. I have no place to go tonight. Is there any emergency place that I can go take my kids?
When people don't know who to call, they call us. Give to the United Ways of Central California. Dial 211 for more info.
Back here with Bob Reyes, Comcast Channel 375. It starts today. You're watching us, of course, live as we do every day here, Monday through Friday. And so Bob Reyes, the interim CEO and president of the United Way here in Fresno and also Madera. So, the 211 calls, it's just like 911. And can anybody call 211?
Absolutely. Anyone
on a cell
service,
phone,
on a cell phone, landline, yes, absolutely.
Okay, the United Way helps who?
Anyone in need in our community. Our mission is to improve the lives of people within our community, and so we have a number of different programs that we run. 211 is one of those programs, and that's probably one of our top programs because it operates 24/7. And it takes a lot of funding to operate it because you are on 24/7. But then you also have our free tax program, which is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. And so we had trained volunteers who are trained by a former IRS supervisor, and they do taxes in the spring, actually year-round if you make an appointment. And if you make less than $58,000 a year, we will do your taxes for free. You don't have to go to one of these places that will charge you a couple $100 to do a couple of pages. We will do it online and submit it.
Now, how does it work, though, in terms of if it's 3 in the morning, there's a fire in the house, you have to evacuate, you call 211, how does the United Way come in and help?
Okay, well, if you have a fire in the house, you're calling 911 first.
Right, you're calling 911, obviously, but I'm talking about after the fact.
Yeah.
You're calling 211 after you call 911, and then the United Way does what?
Well, we would look at our list, and I'm going to make a distinction.
This is
during
a hypothetical,
the day,
that's all.
During the day, we have our operators that take our calls, and then, you know, in the evening at a certain time after 8 o'clock, we will route our calls to Ventura County, and their callers have the same access information or same agencies that for our county, and so what they will do is look up on the list, we need emergency housing.
Hang on a moment, caller. Oops.
And refer them to an agency that will help them, like Red Cross, you know.
Oh, I see. Okay, caller, are you there? Go ahead.
Yes, my name's Jerry. You know, with all this food crisis and all this low income and stuff like that, Tara, why put in billions of dollars worth of railroad system when they can feed the people and create jobs?
Okay. You want to pick that up, Bob?
Okay, so caller, you're asking about the amount of money that is being focused on a high-speed rail system, billions of dollars, and yet within our own county we have so many people that are in need of food, services. I understand what you're saying.
You're not connected with high-speed rail. That's a state program. It's a federal program, and it's a combination of federal, state, and local. And so, not quite sure what the United Way has to do with that, but you know, I don't think there's any correlation there at all.
No, there's no correlation.
Well, the correlation I figure in there is that all the people spend all this money out when it could be creating jobs. The government, they got billions of dollars, but they can turn back around, and most of the people are out here and all over the world is going hungry. But they can spend all this money for a few hundred miles of track.
I understand. Well, I appreciate your call, and obviously it's a concerned caller, and he brings up a good point. But who's calling the United Way these days? What customers do you have? Who is picking up the phone and calling 211, and how often are these calls coming in?
Well, we will probably have over 3,000 calls per month. And our
3,000 a month.
3,000
people in need of something.
People in need, and usually at the top of the list, it's food, it is housing, and you know, other basic services. And so, you know, internet services, low-cost internet, or medical help. You know, those are the things that people call, because when they don't know where else to turn, then, you know, if they've heard of 211, they will call and just ask that question. And so, you know, we fulfill a variety of needs, but yeah, that's usually at the top list. Food.
3,000 calls a month is a lot of calls for Fresno, coming out of Fresno and Madera counties.
And we also serve Stanislaus County, so they're United Way. So we have a partnership with them, and so they help us with the cost of it.
I want to bring Robert De La Rosa into the program here after the break, and then you'll come back toward the end of the program, Bob.
Okay.
I appreciate it, and I know you're going to stay on for, what, about 4 months or so until they find a permanent replacement for the United Way. Obviously, hopefully somebody has business experience and knows how to run a company. I would assume that's priority number one, right?
Right.
And how to keep this place afloat. And when you do come back, I do want to talk about donations and how the United Way actually stays in business. We actually have another call. Let's take it real quick before we go to break. Caller, welcome to the program, and Comcast Channel 375. What's your question?
Yes, Mr. Reyes, I know you're a you worked for
Might want to turn
Unified, and you were a principal at Fresno High. I was wondering, what kind of educational programs, like tutorial programs, does the United Way offer the young people of Fresno? And maybe you can go to your boss and Michael Hansen and say, look, if you spent $95,000 on public relations, maybe you could help the United Way provide tutorial services by giving us $95,000.
Yeah, I understand your question. You know, just to clarify, I no longer work for Fresno Unified, but I know Mike Hansen, and
he's not going to give you 95 grand.
Well, but they run their own tutorial programs through Title I. There's a lot of federal money that comes to Fresno Unified, and that goes to support kids that, you know,
don't have backpacks, that don't maybe don't have shoes, you know, don't have certain services.
But tutoring services, they are available at all of the Title I schools. With United Way, you know, we try to support education, but we don't have nearly the money that Fresno Unified does or any of the other school districts. So we support programs like Reading and Beyond, who work with kids in an after-school program, helping them to become better readers and to be able to read on grade level by the end of third grade. So that's really, you know, how we try to support education. But, you know, just to put it in perspective, we don't have the same kind of monies that come to us as does come to the school districts for Title I education.
Yeah, well, the school districts, Bob, they get 40% of the state budget, and they always have. It's roughly 40%. It's give or take. So they have a lot more money that they're dealing with, obviously, than a charity like the United Way from a local standpoint. We'll talk about that. We're going to bring in Robert De La Rosa in just a few minutes here after the break. We're going to change out. You're watching us on Comcast 375. Hey, if you're out there watching right now, I'm going to put this call on hold and I'll take a break, okay? Caller, can you hold a moment until I go to break because I'm being given the wrap here, okay?
John, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And if you do call in, interested on how you found out we're on 375, Comcast Channel 375 today. We're back, 436-MeTV Option 11, talking about the United Way, an organization that's been around these parts for more than 90 years. Back in a moment.
Take a look at this. Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Colt as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
Okay, look, I've got a story to read you guys. Okay, you ready? Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Custom ornamental iron service, commercial and residential.
Did you know that 60% of all kindergartners in neighborhoods where children do poorly in school do not own a single book? The United Way Book Bank provides over 10,000 free books a year to low-income students and after-school reading programs.
Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
United Way of Fresno County, improving the quality of life in our communities.
Back here on the show, Comcast 375. A caller is on the line, and our new guest here is Robert De La Rosa of the United Way. Thanks for being with us, sir. Go ahead, caller. Hey, I'm interested. How did you find us on 375?
Good morning, John. I'm on my cell phone. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, man, you're coming in loud and clear. Thank you.
Good, good. Okay, well, I found it through that one lady on the air. I went to my antenna television, picked you up there, and then she was discussing about how she found you at 375.
Yeah.
I thought Comcast quit carrying you for a minute there when I went to my Comcast television, and then a few 200 is not on there, and so that's how I found out from the lady on MeTV.
I'm shaking my head right now because I'm kind of frustrated because of all the work, hard blood, sweat, and tears and dedication that both me and the producer have put into this program for so many years to try to build an audience on one channel, and we don't promote the fact that it's going to change to 375. That's kind of irritating to me right now, but I'll try to keep my composure, my friends. Anyway, go ahead. I appreciate your phone call. I imagine you have a question for our guest here, Robert De La Rosa?
Sure. It's kind of a loaded question.
Oh, good. Wow. How are you, by the way? Good.
All ready, John and Robert? Okay. On abortion clinics, do you support them and give some money towards them? That was a rumor. Is that a rumor or a fact? And if that is a fact, do you also give to pro-life clinics? So I'd like you to go over that with me and make that. If it's a rumor, great. If it's a fact, not good. But that's my opinion. And would you like to discuss that? And thank you, Robert, for being on the air.
Oh, no worries.
And John. Okay.
So, that's a great question, and we categorically do not fund Planned Parenthood in any way, shape, or form at United Way of Fresno and Madera counties.
I'm sure a lot of people out there listening right now are probably happy about that. I don't know, but I don't have an opinion one way or the other, but it's a question I never would have thought of. That's why this program relies so heavily on some of the callers, because they ask better questions than I do 90% of the time. But I imagine much of our audience, or at least maybe half, think that's a good thing. The other half think,
Yeah, we each United Way is 100% independent.
They're different, right?
Yeah, they
have
work,
different leadership, different organization,
different focuses, different. It's the needs within your community.
Right.
And United Way Fresno Madera counties do not fund Planned Parenthood.
Right. And I thank you for the call, and thank you for watching Comcast Channel 375. I do want to ask you, Robert, since you're here, what is your title with United Way?
Marketing Director.
Marketing Director.
Yeah.
And you've been with the organization for?
2 years.
About 2 years now. What are some of the programs that United Way does support? Talk about those, because we have a backpack giveaway. We got 2 videos. We're going to show that, not now, but in a minute or so. We'll prep those. What are some of the fantastic programs that you guys support and fund?
Well, I'm sure you've heard of Toys for Tots.
Oh, absolutely.
We are the backbone of Toys for Tots. So all the paperwork, all the...
That's during the holidays, right?
Holiday season, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All the backbreaking work, along with the Marine Corps League Detachment 14, we're in the background doing all that stuff. So we set up the meetings, we go out and do the paperwork, we make sure everyone gets their toys that needs it, we run all the sign-ups and all that good stuff, and we actually give out toys as well. So we're working till...
What about some of those other programs besides Toys for Tots?
The Book Bank, United Way Book Bank. So part of our focus is education, and so what we do is we collect new and used books and we give them to Title I schools, after-school reading programs, and just kids who need them, because we want to make sure every kid in Fresno and Madera County has a book. And actually 63% of low-income children do not have a book.
All right, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, sorry about being late about this. I got kind of busy. Is there any way I could get the phone number to the gentleman that was on for the United Way?
Yeah, this gentleman here is on right now. His name is Robert De La Rosa, Marketing Director for the United Way. Earlier it was Bob Reyes, the interim CEO and the president. Do you need the United Way telephone number?
I would like to go ahead and ask this gentleman a question. County islands in Fresno that are running out of water, or say the recovery rate is not sustainable to really power up your home, is there something that the United Way is doing for the Fresno County residents? Because I know they're doing stuff for Porterville, but is there like temporary tanks or any kind of solutions for us? And also, while we're on the line, can I get the number to Bob Reyes?
Maybe give him a United Way number. Is there a United Way number that they can get a hold of Bob? Because Bob's coming back on the program toward the tail end, but maybe give the general phone number out to the local office.
The easiest way is called 211.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 211 will they can connect to us. They can connect to anybody. So 211 is the latest and greatest number for.
All right, let's roll some videotape. I think it's. What's that?
The water.
Oh, the water. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the videotape and the backpack drive. Go ahead and answer the question.
Yeah. So 211. What we do is we partner with 1,300 different organizations and programs, and
so you can't possibly name all of them here now. But
correct.
There's a lot. Exactly.
But if there's a water issue, people call us and we will connect you with the program or group that is working on that issue right now. Right. So I think. Not in Fresno, but in Madera County, they are bringing tanks of water and filling up portable ones in front of people's homes.
Are you getting a lot of calls related to water?
Some, but not as much as I would think.
Yeah. So when you get those calls, then you refer them to an agency that perhaps can help them.
Correct.
Is what you do.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's not just that's employees that have been affected by the drought. We can help with that. Jobs, drilling. Pretty much, whatever you need, we will find the right connection for you and connect you.
Yeah, let's talk about the backpack giveaway. We've got a couple of pieces of videotape. Let's roll one of them now. It's got sound, and go ahead and take a look and a listen.
I was just waiting, and I was just waiting for my backpack.
This is the annual backpack giveaway, where we give away backpacks to close to 2,500 deserving and needy students in this area, and it's a great pleasure, and we enjoy doing this every year.
We are here as proud sponsors of United Way's annual backpack giveaway and Fresno Movies in the Park. Comcast has partnered with United Way for the last 5 years in providing funding to purchase backpacks for school children ages 5 through 15 to make sure that they have the tools to be successful when they go back to school.
All right, you can call in at 436-ME-TV option 11, and we're talking with Robert De La Rosa. Comment a little bit about this program and the backpacks.
Well, first of all, it's awesome. It is fantastic.
In what way?
You see these kids who their parents have to make a choice between giving them the proper tools for school or eating, and we are, taking the lead and saying, you know what? No, you make sure your rent is paid and your kids are fed, and we'll get you the backpacks. We'll get you the paper. We'll get you the pencils.
How often do these backpack drives happen?
We do it once a year, and this was our first year in Madera, and we've done it for 6 years in Fresno. We started off with 250 backpacks, and it grew to 500, then it grew to 1,000, and now it's at 2,500. So it's big, and the need is there, and we're there to fill it.
Yeah. How does the United Way fit in with all the other charitable organizations around the Central Valley? For example, the Red Cross. There are many others, nonprofits that we've had on here. The Food Bank. Are you partners with any of those people?
We're actually partners with all of them. We are like the heart of the community, and we pump out, wherever the need is, we send it to those people. So if someone needs food, we connect them with the Food Bank.
Hang on, caller.
If someone needs low-cost internet, we connect them with Internet Essentials from Comcast.
So somebody were to ask you to summarize in like 30 seconds, what is the United Way all about, and what do you guys do for us? How would you answer that?
Basically, what we do is, if there's a need, we gather the people to solve that problem, and we make it happen.
If you can't help them directly, you'll send them to an organization that can directly help them.
Correct. So we are the heart. We are the ones that find a problem and solve it.
You pump the blood, is what you're saying. You're the heart,
Exactly.
and really the center of this whole
of everything: education, income, health, homelessness, food, human trafficking, all of it. I mean, if there's a need, we'll figure out how to do it.
Human trafficking is a huge problem. We talked about that on this program yesterday. We're going to do an entire hour on that. Apparently it's a big problem here in the Central Valley. A lot of people didn't know about it. I didn't know how bad it was until talking to one of the bishops here yesterday, who was a guest on the program. Caller, you're on the air with Robert De La Rosa. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yes, two questions. One is on volunteerism. Why isn't there as much today as it used to be in the past? I mean, I was looking at a National Geographic in the 20s, and they showed somebody who, like, 5 sons went to Africa, and they all came out and celebrated because they were going to be missionaries. Now, today, that would never happen. And the second question is different subject would be on the books themselves that you send out to kids. How many are Spanish language books? And that concludes my question.
Okay, so two-part question, talking about the missionaries and then also the books. How many do you give out? How many of those are written in Spanish?
For volunteering, I don't know why volunteering is on decline. We always have people ready to step up whenever we make the call. If there's a...
Is it on the decline?
I think that's what the gentleman was saying.
But in your vantage point?
For us, like I said, when we make a call, people sign up. And
is that right?
Yeah, I mean, everything from the food giveaways to free haircuts from Lyle's Beauty College, to get back to school kids ready to, looking good and strong, to helping at the book bank, to wrapping gifts, to anything and everything. Whenever we call, they step up. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what about the books?
Books. Well, like I said, it's 100% donation driven. So if someone buys Spanish books, we give them out. Someone buys Hmong books, we give them out. We have them separated. So
you can't give us a percentage, really?
Yeah,
it can't break it down.
Yeah, it depends on what.
Depends on what you receive from other people.
Correct.
What the donations are.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Talking to Robert De La Rosa. Another couple of minutes with him. We'll bring in Bob Reyes again. 436 MeTV option 11. Hey, my friends, you're watching us on a new station today. It's called Comcast 375 as opposed to Comcast 187 and 43.6 and 13.1 over the air. We're talking United Way. We're talking your phone calls. Back in a moment.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want. Save now on Frigidaire's Advanced Affinity Laundry Pair. Let Frigidaire save you energy, water, and time. Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
My name's Rick Wolf. I'm a general counsel at Children's Hospital in Madera, California. I'm also a board member of United Way Fresno County and Madera County. Today's the backpack giveaway. Every year we pick the hottest day, but you know what? This is Fresno, and that's what we signed up for, right? So we're not going to let a little heat get in our way. We're going to hand out some backpacks. We're going to make some kids happy, and we're going to have fun doing it.
My favorite part is probably events like this where you get to see your actions really helping people right in the moment, and I really love doing stuff for the little kids. That's probably the best thing.
Hello, my name is Shane. I live United.
I'm Rick Wolf, and I live United.
I'm Angela Hiyama, and I live United.
My name is Danielle Mercado, and I live United.
So this is kind of how it works on those backpack giveaways, right? You have an organization, say, or someone, an individual that donates a backpack, or let's say pick an organization. They give you $5,000, you go out and get some backpacks, and then you have a backpack giveaway for those who can't afford to purchase one for the new school year. Is that how it works?
It's exactly how it works. Just like in Madera, there was a need. We started servicing Madera. So we went out, found a donor, Crown Homes in Madera, and they gave us $5,000, which we spent all on backpacks
When
and
was
school
that,
supplies.
by the way?
The 31st.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
July
31st.
Yeah.
So then we had, we called the city and said, hey, we have backpacks to give away. Can you help us out? And they referred us to Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec said, yeah, go ahead. We'll do it at the Movies in the Park event. So which is sponsored by PG&E. So now now you've got Crown Homes, you've got PG&E, Bank of the West came and helped stuff backpacks. UPS came and helped stuff backpacks. So now you've got PG&E and UPS in there. We had our board of directors come out and give out the backpacks. Radio La Campesina and Telemundo came out. And
wow.
Yeah, they promoted the event, did music at the event.
You're talking about stuffing backpacks with school supplies.
Correct.
Pencils, pens, whatever, calculators, whatever people need
Pencil sharpener,
to
all
go
that
to
good
school.
stuff. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. All right, we got to go to break. Going to bring back in the interim CEO, Bob Reyes, talk to him a little bit about how this organization runs from a financial standpoint. Hey, Robert, good to see you. You come back anytime.
Cheers.
Even when Bob takes off to go on his his dream trips around the country, around the world, you can come back. You're welcome here anytime.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Frank De La Rosa, he is the marketing director for the United Way here in Fresno and Madera. Back with your phone calls, 436-MeTV option 11. Ask any question you want. We're here on Comcast channel 375.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Francisco Molina Nieve has been on the run since March 2008. The police and the FBI need your help tracking this coward down. He's wanted for brutally beating his girlfriend and for the use of a firearm. He has 3 freckles and a crescent shape under his right eye. Call the Colorado FBI at 303-629-7171 if you know where he's hiding.
Euronews, most watched news channel in Europe.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highways.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there.
Officer Poncherello, man.
Frank Poncherello.
Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada on
Now on
Chips.
MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Did you know that for more than 20 years, the United Way of Fresno County has been the driving force behind the U.S. Marines Toys for Tots program?
Without you, more than 100,000 kids in Fresno County could go without a gift this Christmas.
What will my family do about Christmas? What's going to happen to Christmas?
We may not have the Marines in Dress Blues this year, but Marine Corps League has stepped up for Fresno County.
I might be retired now, but once a Marine, always a Marine.
So please join us by donating a new and unwrapped gift wherever you see a Toys for Tots collection bin.
Thank you.
For choosing to live united.
That's right. The United Way is united in a lot of ways and partnering with a lot of different programs. So Bob Reyes is back, the interim president, CEO. And who do you partner with on this Toys for Tots thing? Because the holidays are coming up. They're just around the corner. Even though it's late August, September is around the corner. And then first thing you know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and bang, a new year.
Yeah, one of our main partners is the Retired Marine Corps League, and so the Toys for Tots program has been around since, I think, 1946, and it's always been associated with Marines, and so it's been taken on by United Way of Fresno County and the local Marine Corps League, and so they do a lot of the work. We help out with working with the agencies. I think we had last week over 200 agencies that came to 4 different meetings to get themselves on the list for toys for the families that they work with. And so we will go through those lists, make sure they're nonprofit organizations, and then we will look to see how many toys they sign up for, and then once we process all of that information, then we will give it to the Marine Corps League, and they will follow up after the toys are donated. Marine Corps League stores all of the toys that are donated, and then we'll distribute them. Our other major partner is ABC 30, who does a lot of our spots, and so we've got, and then our normal partners like UPS and Bank of the West that will come out and volunteer for our Toys for Tots Marathon Weekend, which is the first weekend of December.
Yeah, that's when it happens. That's when it all happens. Talk about this thing financially now. United Way, it's like any other organization, even though it's a nonprofit at 501c3, you still have to make money to stay afloat. There are people that work for the organization. Let me ask you, first of all, how many employees do you guys have?
We have 21 employees.
21 employees that are full-time. So you take in, what, a couple of million a year from donations, right?
From donations, we'll also get grant money.
Okay.
And
from the state or feds?
Well, from the feds, but any type of grant that will support the programs that we have. Now, for instance, our volunteer income tax assistance program will go for IRS or federal grants to support that. And so basically, the money that we bring in to Fresno County, we don't necessarily keep it all, because what we do is we are kind of like a funnel for all the different agencies that are partnered with us. And so if we went into a workplace campaign, like for instance, if we went into FedEx and talked to their employees, they would get a list of different agencies they could donate to from their monthly payroll deductions.
Oh, okay.
And so they could choose United Way, or they could choose Poverello House. So, so some of that money, let's say it could be $1 million, would be funneled into other agencies that we work with, and we don't necessarily get any of that money.
I know a lot of people out there watching that may not want to call in or asking how much of that money stays right here in the Central Valley.
Well, all of it stays in the Central Valley.
All of it stays here, yeah.
So, and with our work in Madera, anything that we raise in Madera County will go back to Madera County.
I see. And anything you raise in Fresno goes back into Fresno County.
Right.
That's how it works.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Fresno and Madera, they don't cross lines in terms of money that's either donated or whatever, right?
And exactly. But, some of the programs, like for instance, I'm going to say that our tax assistance program, we've had a presence in Madera County for years, even though they weren't necessarily our service area, but we went out to several locations and provided free income tax service.
And I also want you to clarify, too, that your organization isn't necessarily tied into any other of the more than 1,200 local agencies there are around the country. Each office, each United Way organization or corporation within a city is separate from another. Am I right?
Absolutely. We're all separate. We can, the basic United Way model, we call it the community impact model. It affects health, education, and income. But as a United Way, you can focus on all three or just focus on one. And so you have that kind of independence. You also have United Way Worldwide that will take a position on certain federal bills that are working their way through Congress. If it affects the lives of people, they will take a position of support. And then individual United Ways, though, are not bound by that. They make their own decisions on what they're going to support. So let's say if there's a position that our local United Way does not agree with on the national level, we will not support that. So our board determines what we support.
Yeah, the national level and the worldwide United Way doesn't determine what you do here.
No.
Different policies. And your CEO, whoever that might be down the road, is not going to be making millions of dollars. because you only take in a couple of million here, so who knows what the salary is going to be or what it's going to pay. But I'm sure that a lot of people out there might be thinking right now, okay, you know, how much of this money stays here? How much does the CEO get? All of those type of questions, you kind of answered them, and it's hard to get into specifics when you're talking about money in a charitable organization, is it not?
Right. It's difficult, and for all nonprofits, it's a challenge because there are years when you will do well in fundraising and donations, and there are years where it's more challenging. So, you know, it's different every year.
All right, best way to describe the United Way, and I kind of wrote it out myself. United Way is all about helping children and youth succeed through engagement, strengthening and supporting families, improving access to health care, promoting financial stability, helping with education, and working with different government and charitable organizations. Am I right?
That pretty much sums everything up.
All right. Now, before we go, we got a couple of minutes. I got to ask you about this because this has... and the reason I'm asking you this is because there have been some scandals surrounding the United Way, and I saved this for the last question. Back in 1986, I'm going to bring up one of them. The United Way of Cleveland, Ohio, had a balloon fest in which they released 1.5 million balloons into the air. Unfortunately, they had a disaster causing injury to animals, and actually 2 people died. There was another CEO of a national organization some 20 years ago was sentenced to 7 years because he, I guess, embezzled $300,000. Another one in New York City, a CEO, $27,000. Apparently, he was later found guilty, sent to prison. Another one in Washington, D.C., and another one elsewhere. Does this cast like a black eye on the United Way, or does it discourage people from donating, and should it?
Well, it shouldn't discourage people from donating, but certainly it does make people think twice when they read stories like that. But, you know, United Way is like any other organization or business. It's made up of people. There are people who will sometimes make the wrong choices, just like you could have a family member that makes the wrong choice, but does that taint the entire family? Does it make the work that the people are doing less important to the area that they serve? And so if something happens that is inappropriate in Cleveland
or D.C. or New
D.C., does that affect the work that we do here in Fresno County and Madera County?
No, it doesn't.
No, because we're still focused on improving the lives of people, and it's truly unfortunate when it happens elsewhere that there is something inappropriate, but that does not mean that that is happening here in Fresno and Madera County.
So you're saying it should not cast a black eye. Don't judge the book by its cover. Open up the book and see what's going on here in Fresno and Madera. Those types of things are not going on.
That is correct. We're very transparent about what we do, and so...
And where the money goes and how much you make and all that.
And yes, absolutely, because we don't make a lot of money. It's just like, we are a nonprofit, and so our goal is to return as much of that money into programs.
Well, I hope you can keep the ship afloat until the new guy comes in, or maybe it might be a woman. Never know.
Yes.
Could be.
It could be a man or a woman, and so we're hoping for the best fit for our 2 counties.
Well, I appreciate you coming in very much, and our thanks to Robert De La Rosa. Bob Reyes, good luck to you.
John, thank you.
And come back again maybe sometime. Who knows what you'll be doing next.
Okay.
Food Bank, Fresno High School, now the United Way. All right, Bob Reyes and Robert De La Rosa of the United Way. That's going to do it for us here on Connect with Me. Watching us on Comcast 375. Got to remember that. See you tomorrow.